Okay. I don't know what we're throwing today. We're going to see what happens. I'm not even sure what this weighs. I want to say probably around 4 pounds. It's been sitting for several days since I wedged it. It feels a little firm, but we're going to see what happens. If it's big enough, maybe I will make myself a pie plate, which I have been planning on doing. So let's just see what happens, shall we? I don't even remember what kind of clay this is. I know last week I had Reclaim that wasn't ready, so I started using the new A-line that I just bought, and that was really, really soft. I think this is Reclaim. And then I have a bag that was sitting next to it. It's got smaller pieces, which I think is the A-line I tried to use last week that I struggled with. It was pretty sloppy wet, so I just set it out to evaporate some of that moisture off, and then I wedged it. So that's what I think that other bag is sitting there. Or no. I know what it is. I cut some pieces off of the A-line and I set them out to evaporate some moisture. They're not like re-wedged from, that splattered at me. They're not re-wedged from using them and drying them out. I just cut pieces out of the fresh bag and let them dry a little before I wedged them so that they wouldn't be so soft and mushy. I'm liking what this angle of the video is doing to show you all the bumps and ridges. This is the purpose of coning your clay up and down, which this is pretty stiff, so it's not real easy to get it to cone up thinly. But it does show you that as you bring it up and push it back down, you see all those spirals, you see all those lines in the clay. That's because we're trying to get everything, all the molecules in the clay to line up with each other and all get going in the same direction. This is really splashing me from that corner. It's shooting directly up in my face. I would be probably pretty embarrassed to put the camera on my face right now. I know I have clay splattered all over my chest. I can feel wet spots on my forehead, so I can only imagine what everything really looks like. I am having to use more water though because the clay is so stiff. And I know because of the angle of the camera it's probably going to get too tall for you to see the top of it, but the idea is really so you can see the side and see all these lumps and ridges and things that are going on. It keeps shooting in the corner and splashing up at me. Okay. I'm hoping that when I get this one back down it won't be so, nope, it's still pretty wobbly. Come on, guy. Work with me. We're going to ride the struggle bus today. That's okay. Everybody rides the struggle bus. You guys get to see me ride. Pretty frequently, I think. I'm a frequent flyer. I'm a frequent rider on the struggle bus. That's okay. As long as we never give up. That's the key. Don't get off the struggle bus just because it's hard. Just keep riding it out. You'll still get there. pretty centered. That thunking you hear is just because there's a bat on my wheel head. And I don't know if you guys can see that shooting back up at me, but it's going to be a fun day of mud play. Anyway, that wobbly noise is, I think, just a lot of pressure with a heavier piece of clay will tend to make that noise. But it is centered. I can feel it. I can see it. The piece is not wobbly itself. So I'm going to go for it. And let's see, to make a pie plate, this is my first time making a pie plate. I'm going to go ahead and press it down as if I were making a plate. There's a bubble, just popped. Feel more bubbles in there. If they don't pop by the time I'm done with all this, I'll get my needle tool and pop them. Now, I need to be thinking, which I don't do all that often, ahead as far as what size. And the problem we have now with not knowing what kind of clay this is that clays can shrink anywhere from 6% up to 14%. Typically the clays that I use shrink 12. So I think that's what I'm going to go by. I'm still learning my conversions. I'm used to working in inches and feet, and I'm trying to learn centimeters because that's all this ruler has on it is centimeters. It is intended that if I wanted a every 2 inches is 5 centimeters, I think. So say I wanted a 4-inch bowl on 12% shrinkage. If I measured to there, it's technically right now larger than 2 inches, but by the time it shrinks up, it should be 2 inches, which means 20 is 8 inches, and a pie plate should be 9 inches. Yes, so I think I need to go 22.5 for 9 inches, so roughly. Yeah, I'm way short. I'm way short. Okay, so we keep going. The higher speed of your wheel, the more the centrifugal force wants to push the clay outward. So that's helpful when making plates. Not so much when you're trying to make a cylinder like a mug and you don't want it flying out and becoming a bowl. So pottery has a lot of things to keep in mind as you work. All right, we're at 21.5-ish, so a little bit more. All right. I'm at 23, but I'm also going to pull it up and create a lip, so that will bring it in a little bit. And I am leaving the base thicker than I would for, say, a mug or something, because a pie plate is essentially a baking dish. So it can go in the oven, right? Bake a pie. So for that, I tend to leave things a little thicker, just to make sure they're a little more sturdy. You don't want to be putting stuff in the oven, clanking on the little rack and things like that when it's real, thin, like 1/4 of an inch. That could be potential for breakage. So I'm just compressing the bottom now. I'm going to take my little rubber rib tool, kind of flatten everything out evenly if I can. Feel a slight wobble right now, but that's okay. All right. Let's check our measurement again, see where we are. I am still at 23, so I really need to bring this upward. Again, I want to leave everything fairly thick, and I plan on making a decorative edge on this piece too, so make sure that I get low and try to pull some of that clay up. There's a lump in there. Bubble or something. Right in there. Is that? Let's check our measurement. Ooh, I brought it in too much. I'm at 20 inches again. So, I'm going to take my rib and I'm going to angle it out a little more. If I end up with an 8-inch pie plate, I will be okay with that. This is just for me, because I wanted one. Pretty much everything I do when I'm testing is going to end up being mine anyway. We're at 21.5. Okay. Sometimes it's a slow process. Okay, I am at about 22.5 inches now. So I've already cleaned up the inside. Now I'm going to clean up the outside a little. Is that exactly what I had in mind? Kind of wanted a straighter edge, I thought. But that's okay. That is okay. First time, just learning curve, figure it out. Okay, and I need to, where is my, there it is. I need to trim the bottom. All that excess clay to make trimming later hopefully be a little bit easier when it gets leather hard. plus doing this creates a space for my wire tool to get under so that hopefully I don't clip off the bottom of this piece. I'm going to clean up my hands real quick, and then I'm going to shape the edges before I wire it off. Shaping the edges now will make trimming a little bit difficult, but better that than waiting too long to trim, especially when it's as hot as it is right now. And then if you try to do that, you know, like when it's leather hard or something, then you don't have the bend necessary to make these little wedges, little notches, little designs. So, certainly isn't going to be perfect, but when do I ever go for perfection? Pretty much never. So I'm kind of just barely doing it right now, and then I'm going to go in between those spaces, and then I'll go through after and make them more pronounced, and hopefully it will come out looking like a pie dish. At least that's what my imagination is telling me. It's saying it's gonna work. It really is. But we shall see. We shall see. Okay. So now I'm gonna go through and try to make everything a little more pronounced. And then I will wire it off, but leave it on this bat because I don't want to warp it trying to take it off. Small bowls and mugs are a lot easier to get off the wheel head and without worry of warping than big plates and larger pieces have more of a chance of warping. Okay, so I think that looks pretty pie plate-ish. So I'm gonna call that good, and I'm gonna wire this guy off and go set him on the shelf to dry.